Hey man, what's happening? It's Cool Water, the digital dope man, coming to you live and in effect with another episode in the Ballroom Chats podcast, where we talk about topics in the area of entertainment, politics, business, culture, health, and education. Ballroom Chats podcast. You can find Ballroom Chats podcast on Spreaker, SPREAKER.com, under Ballroom Chats or Cool Water Tracks. One of the tools, how they got it listed. So right now, I'm a couple of days again behind schedule on what I probably doing, what I should do, what I need to do. But I had to get in on this after listening to a discussion between Boyce Watkins and Dr. Claud Anderson. I felt the need to add my 2 cents or just comment, so to speak. Recently, Boyce and Claud, talked about some issues that involved Black America during this pandemic, during the Rona, aka the Rona now, because you can't say that out loud on YouTube and they don't censor because the algorithm is picking up those keywords. So keep that in mind for those folks that's putting out videos about this situation. Go with the Rona. The fact that we are still, and I'm talking about Black America right now, Black America still very susceptible to a crisis, and our inability to recover is a major problem right now, especially going into 2020, the end of 2020, 2021, and beyond. We are the most susceptible to death, to the plagues, to the economic woes that America will inflict on its citizens, based off the fact that we do not have an independent, strong economy. You see? So listening to Claud, every time I listen to Claud, I get some new game. One of the things that he made mention of that was very, very interesting was talking about the deaths in the funeral homes. So we have, and you know of many Black funeral home owners. One in Atlanta is Willie A. Watkins. Willie A. Watkins is probably the biggest funeral home owner in the ATL. When I was in college, we had some cats, man. Their parents was funeral home owners, and they was pretty well off. They used to pull up in the lax and everything. But they worked at the funeral home with their parents too, so they was making buku money. But he said that the white corporate entities or white establishment did the numbers and seen that Black deaths were going up, so they bought out the most of the Black-owned funeral homes. And most of those funeral homes now may be ran by Black individuals, but they're owned by white corporations, which goes hand in hand with the lack of economic prosperity and control that we as a people have. You understand? And, especially during the 80s and the 90s, the death toll was through the roof when you was dealing with the Watts riot, race riots, Rodney King, Los Angeles police, inflicting pain. If you watch Straight Outta Compton, you see a lot of that. They coming through the front door with tankers. South Central, Los Angeles caught a lot of hell. Chi-Town was another one. Detroit was another one. We had the race riots of like the 1960s. And those riots really put us in check in a sense, because the National Guard, the police force, they went in with a vengeance. Philadelphia had a major riot that went on think back in the late 60s, early 70s, and they bombed the house. You see what I'm saying? So Black America is the most vulnerable to all genocidal biological attacks that come down the pipeline. Now we're talking global, because this is a global. The Rona is global, and the pandemic is global. So there's articles floating around about Africans being put out of their living quarters, their apartments, by Chinese. And the Chinese kicked them out based on the fact that they felt like they were the most susceptible to the Rona. You dig? And the Africans are like, we took the test, nobody gave us back the results, but then they put us out on the street. So now we sleeping out on the street because we have nowhere to go. See, all over the globe, I don't give a fuck if you in Africa, I don't give a fuck if you in America, Australia, the Caribbean, Europe, Canada, you are the target. You are the target. It don't matter. So now the pandemic went from being a global problem to now it's over here in America, and now it's supposedly hundreds of thousands of deaths. Now it went from everybody having it to now black folks. We're the highest ethnicity now, supposedly getting the Rona. It only behooves me to understand, where did those numbers come from? How are you determining that this ethnic group has the highest rate when the virus is still ongoing? There's no real testing really going on. You driving up, somebody digging in your nose with a swab tissue and telling you, well, you got it, or, well, we think you're negative, with no precursor or postcursor to alleviate the problem. But now we're the main ones. So we have to question that. These deaths, all these black folks dying from the Rona, and white folks too, we have to question that. What were their pre-existing conditions before the coronavirus, aka the Rona, attacked their lungs, their respiratory system? See, that's what I'm saying. It's all smoke and mirrors. So Claude mentioned some things about, he did an article, wrote several articles sometime, maybe 20-some years ago, about the plagues and the viruses and the disease that would come upon Black America. And here it is. He's talking about the coming food shortage, the coming water crisis. Black farmers are not a real impact in the culture. Black farmers are not a real impact in the culture, because they can't, they're not getting food to the mass distributors like Kroger's and Whole Foods, and most of those are controlled by white farmers. So again, we're susceptible to whatever, and there is no solution for us. We're the ones who are the guinea pigs. We are the experimented on group of people. And so I found that to be very interesting, because again, Claude, once again, who is now in his 80s, too old to fight, too old to get out here and really bark like he used to some 60 years ago, and then nobody's taking his message to be very, very seriously. And then he put out them books with all the solutions to the problem. We have to take a serious look at what we need to do in order for us to be able to maintain, because this is not the only virus plague that's going to come up on us. See, and the book I wrote, How to Guide the Banking Black, talks about Asian supremacy. Asia's over there. The Asians, the Chinese, are over there in Africa doing the same thing that the Europeans did. They're putting their stake in the country, and they're building infrastructure and tapping into resources, and then they're using Africans to do it. They're putting Africans in position to sell out Africa and the Africans that are in power. They're utilizing these individuals to get their stake to become a premier dominant force on the global stage. Africans over there don't have no power. You can't fight. We don't have a strong military over there. You feel me? So again, Asians, they doing it to them. They doing it to the African in Asia. China, putting them out on the street just based off of mere assumption. Then they going to Africa and they taking over. Now, over here in America, they keep saying, well, the Asians over here are being accused and attacked of the racial injustice due to the Rona because of where the virus is supposedly had originated from. But at the end of the day, it doesn't help. It doesn't help, any one of us, because again, we're in the tail end of the spectrum getting dealt with. So one of the main things that I think is most important is understanding the problem. Claude has done a good job of making sure that we understood what the problem is and what we need to do to solve it. This is another example of the destruction of black civilization. Everything is about destroying black culture. You feel me? It's about doing that above all else. There is no other agenda. Whatever depopulation agenda is aimed at destroying the original people of the planet. Period. But most people, because they want to look the other way, they don't want to address the real issue at hand. They think, well, this will pass and life will return back to normal. Life is not going to return back to normal after this because of the mere fact that this is the beginning stages of global domination. Everything now is going to be digital. They over there in China scanning people with digital artificial intelligence lenses and facial recognition to see if your body produces a certain amount of heat. So that tells them whether or not they feel like you are a threat and have the Rona. This is real deal. This is biological genocidal warfare that many people don't want to come to grips with. I put stuff up on my Facebook page that folks skate by like they at the roller skating rink. Why? Because they don't want to deal with no real issues. They want to talk about how you gonna get your business started. What are you doing to get your business started? Are you getting enough customers? This, that, third. All that stuff it has its relevant place, but it's not attached to anything. It's just rhetoric because many people don't know what the hell they doing. So, Claud Anderson, being the far-right genius, along with Dr. Amos Wilson, on the economics of Black America, is something that we have to go back and study. The crisis is not over; it's just beginning, and it's important and imperative that you take a delve into your own culture to understand past, present, and future problems. It's going to be imperative that we do that. An imperative that you quit running from being AKA so-called black. Okay? And really begin to understand what you have and what you bring to the table that got everybody wanting to eradicate you. See? It's more than just the virus itself. You understand? It's about globalization and world domination. Hey man, it's Cool Water, the Digital Dope Man. Check me out at the blog, ishiphopdead.com. Look for me at the blog, at the website, thedigitaldopeman.com. Check me out on Amazon. Go get that book, How to Guide the Banking Black. Go get the other book, America's Best Kept Secret of Vending America's Best Kept Secret on Amazon. Peace and stay blessed. Holla.